What if I told you that one of the most powerful symbols in voodoo is not a doll, but a simple drawing made on the ground? This design is much more than art. It is the key that invokes Papa Legba, the guardian of the door between our world and the world of spirits. Let us discover how each line of his vive is a word in a secret language to open the doors to the beyond. Stay, because what you're going to learn today will not only fascinate you, but it could change the way you see art, faith, and communication with the invisible. Act 1. The Guardian at the Crossroads. Okay, before deciphering the code of his symbol, we first have to understand the deity that inspires it. Who exactly is Papa Legba? Imagine for a second that our world and the world of spirits are two different countries with a closed border. You can't cross, you can't call. You need a translator, a diplomat, a guardian at the only existing door. That is Papa Legba. In Haitian Vodou, Legba is the intermediary, the messenger between us and the lower, who are the great spiritual forces of the universe. His roots come from the traditions of the Fon people of Dahomey in West Africa, what we now know as Benin. When millions of Africans were enslaved and forcibly taken to Haiti, they carried their beliefs and their spirits with them. In that new land of suffering, but also of incredible hope, Legba was transformed into Papa Legba, a paternal figure, almost like a wise grandfather. He is almost always represented as an old man, leaning on a crutch or a cane, with humble clothes, a straw hat, and sometimes a dog at his side. But don't let that fragile appearance fool you. His limp is not from weakness. It is because he walks with one foot in our world and the other in Guinea, the world of the spirits. And his cane is not just support. It is a cosmic axis that connects what we see with what we don't. Papa Legba is the owner of all doors, all paths, and all crossroads. That's why he is the first lower invoked in any voodoo ceremony. Without his permission, if he doesn't open the door, no other spirit can hear our prayers, and no offering reaches its destination. He has the master key. All ceremonies begin and end with him. It is also said that he speaks all the languages in the world, which allows him to translate our wishes to the other lower. Now that we understand his key role as the cosmic gatekeeper, the question is obvious. How do you ask such an important being to open the door for you? You don't use a metal key or a password. You use a much older and more powerful language, that of symbols. The answer lies in his vive. Act 2. The symbol as a key. And here's where things get really interesting. What exactly is a vive? Well, it's not a simple logo or a drawing for decoration. A vive is spiritual writing. It's a portal, an energetic meeting point that is drawn during a ritual to call upon a specific lower. Each lower has its own vive, almost like a personal signature and a direct phone number. During a ceremony, the priest, Hungan, or priestess, Mambo, draw the vive on the ground, usually near the central post. With incredible skill, they let cornmeal, ash, or even ground coffee fall between their fingers, creating these fluid and complex lines. The vive is not just an invitation, it's the creation of a sacred space, a magnetic field that attracts the essence of the lower to that place. Now, let's take a close look at Papa Legba's vive, the master key. Although there are variations, its design almost always has the same elements full of meaning. Imagine that we draw it together. The first and most important part of the vive is the cross, two lines crossing each other. Be careful, this is not the Christian cross, although they sometimes overlap. This cross represents Legba's key concept, the crossroads, the point where heaven touches earth, where the divine world crosses with ours. By drawing it, you are declaring your intention to stand right at that intersection, the only place from where one can speak with spirits. Then, over the cross, his cane is drawn. The cane is the symbol of his wisdom. his authority, and his ability to travel between worlds. By drawing it, you're not just painting an object, you're invoking his power to be the bridge you need. Very often, the vive also includes keys. This is the most direct symbolism, right? The keys represent his function as the gatekeeper, like St. Peter, with whom he is indeed syncretized. Drawing the key is a direct request. Papa Legba, we call upon you, the one who holds the keys, to open the way for us. Sometimes other elements appear, like wavy lines for energy or spirals for the flow of life. Each line, each curve, each point of the vive is like a syllable in a visual prayer. It is the entire universe condensed into a single drawing. Once the vive is complete on the ground, something changes. It's no longer flower on earth, it's now an active portal. That's where offerings for Papa Legba are placed. Things he likes, like sweets, tobacco, black coffee, and a little rum. The offerings are a sign of respect. You don't just ask, you also give. And with that act, the veve becomes charged with energy, activated, and the door that Legba guards begins to open. Act 3, the indissoluble relationship and the conclusion. And now, the secret relationship becomes crystal clear. Papa Legba's veve is not just a portrait of him. It is not a drawing of Legba. It is the manifestation of his function. The veve is the crossroads. The veve is the key. The veve is the portal. Think of it this way. Papa Legba is the idea of communication between worlds, and the veve is the spiritual formula that makes that idea real. Without Legba, the veve would just be a pretty drawing, lines without power. But without the vive, Legba's energy would remain distant, without an exact point to anchor itself in our reality. They are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. This symbiosis is the essence of magic in voodoo. It's not about worshipping an image, but about using symbols as a kind of spiritual technology. This also completely dismantles that pop culture idea that Papa Legba is a devil at the crossroads who buys souls. In actual practice, he is a respected and beloved figure. He is the wise grandfather who gives you the keys to knowledge, not a trickster. Thus, the relationship between Papa Legba and his vive is one of the deepest in voodoo. He is the guardian who translates our desires, and his veve is the sacred tool, the key we use to ask him to open the doors. The next time you see a veve, don't look at it as simple exotic art. See it for what it is, sacred writing, a circuit of energy, a key forged not with metal, but with faith and intention. It is proof that sometimes the most important doors are not opened by hand, but by spirit. If you are fascinated by this hidden language of symbols and the wisdom of ancient traditions, subscribe and tell me in the comments what other vive, loa, or mystery you'd like us to decipher together on the next journey. Open your mind, because secrets are everywhere. You just have to know how to look.